Hello and welcome to the Super Bowl 58 Preview Show. My name is Zach Bischoff, and as always, am joined for the second take of this episode by.
Dirty shit, Hunter. Thanks for being so patient with me, Zach. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yes,
It's great to be with you.
we're already off. We're already off the rails this fine evening. Anyway, let's talk about what we came here to talk about today, which is the Super Bowl between the NFC champion, the San Francisco 49ers, and the AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Danny, just your thoughts on the upcoming matchup here between these two teams?
Yeah, Zach, dude, I am. That first take was very amusing, so I apologize for um, botching the open here. But yeah, Zach, dude, I'm really excited for the Super Bowl here in Las Vegas, which is obviously a really cool venue to have it. And these two teams are very different, but they have been very dominant in their own way. And the way that they've got to this point in the AFC and NFC, their respective conferences, has been very different. For the Chiefs, they lost 17, or I'm sorry, they beat the Baltimore Ravens 17-10. And that was a very a defensive struggle. Steve Spagnuolo is a tremendous defensive coordinator that always puts his guys in good positions to make plays. On the flip side of the coin here, we got San Francisco, who got down 28-0 and then ran about 31 straight points to beat the Detroit Lions, who the Detroit Lions had a heck of a run, Zach. I mean, if you talk about
They did.
a team that has, struggled for so many years, the city of Detroit, with the Pistons, who had a 20-some-odd game losing streak this year, and then the Red Wings, who have been near the bottom for a few years now. I mean, that was a great run by Detroit, but, I mean, San Fran had to dig deep in the second half. And, on that last possession, Brock Purdy had to deliver, which he definitely did, going 5 for 5 on the last drive. But when you look at the differences between these two teams, what jumps out to me is the fact that the San Francisco 49ers have such dynamic offense with the guys like Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy's a system quarterback, but he does a heck of a job being the quarterback of that system. You know what I mean? He's got guys like Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk, who are unbelievable. I mean, I still remember Brandon Ayuk running rampant on the Steelers during week 1 of the season this year. And, they have a talented receiving core, and they're, bolstered by their prolific offensive line with the guys like Trent Williams and all those guys. So, and then it's on the flip side of that, you got Kansas City's defense, and it's crazy that we're talking about Kansas City's defense when they have guys like Mahomes and Travis Kelce. But honestly, their defense has gotten them to this point.
And Taylor Swift.
They do have Taylor Swift, who I think is an asset for the Chiefs. I think that
it's an asset for who has it? CBS that has it this year. I can tell you.
CBS loves it.
That's who Taylor Swift is an asset for.
Yeah, because they show her all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's bringing the Chiefs have more of a fan club than the 49ers because of Taylor Swift, I think. Although the anti-Taylor Swift crowd is also pretty strong and holding strong. But yeah, Zach,
nobody's stronger than Swifties. I'm
sorry. That's true. They are pretty strong. And it is great that more demographics are watching the NFL. You know, more just more girls and women are watching the um, NFL and people that are interested in music and stuff like that, which is great to see. But yeah, Zach, I think this game is going to be a chess match, obviously, between the 49ers' flamboyant offense and the Chiefs' very solid defense. I think the 49ers are going to come out on top. I think that Kansas City might be ahead at half, 17-10. But I think in the end, San Francisco pulls it out 35-28. I think it's good. 35-28 was my score because I think this game is going to be just back and forth. You know what I mean? I mean, and that's what everybody should hope for in a Super Bowl. You know, I'm super excited just to see how it all pans out. But it's so interesting to me, Zach. The number, and I'm just obviously going to be curious if we're in agreement on this, man. But like, it for so many years, it was like Mahomes and Kelsey and Tyreek Hill are going to put up 1,000 points, metaphorically, obviously, against any opponent, and the defense just makes them that much better. But but now it's like defense, even with Patrick Mahomes, is stepping up so largely, and they're relying more on the defense than they are the offense, Zach.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Danny, your thoughts on the Super Bowl halftime show?
The Super Bowl halftime show, Zach. Dude, I gotta be honest, I right now I do not know who the Super Bowl halftime show
Usher.
is. Usher. Okay. That shows you that I am pretty, I guess, uncultured when it comes to
Unprepared?
that and that as well. Yeah. No, but I like Usher. Yeah.
I don't watch it either, but I'll watch it. I haven't watched the last couple of years, but I'll watch this one just because.
Yeah.
Oh, also, and another question: Do you think Taylor
Yeah.
Swift will?
Yeah,
Do you think Taylor Swift will do a cameo now that she's involved in the Super Bowl? Because I really do think she will go on stage.
yeah. That's I would
People
have.
think
I
I'm
mean, I
nuts,
would
but
assume. But she's the ultimate hustler. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on how Taylor Swift is just doing it all. But
no, we're not.
let's not do that. Yeah, Zach. I mean, I think that like the Super Bowl is just it's got to be so hard to play in because there's so much. Like, I mean, the 2 weeks off, Zach, like that's hard, man, and all these Radio Row going on. So I'm just excited for everybody to play the game, obviously. But yeah, man, I really think that I think Brock Purdy is going to do something special. I think he's honestly going to outperform Patrick Mahomes because I think that Purdy is more effective than Patrick Mahomes, Zach. I really think that Patrick Mahomes, a lot of times it seems like I obviously he's a great quarterback, and Tony Romo and the likes of many Chiefs fans and fans around the world are still big Mahomes fans, but he's been a little bit more up and down as of late, even though he's still in the Super Bowl, and his worst finish has been in the AFC Championship game in his 5 years playing. I think that Brock Purdy appeals to the guy, appeals to the 49ers and NFL fans in general because he just does what a quarterback is made to do. He's a game manager that can still swing the ball around the yard. So I mean, when I think of Brock Purdy, Zach, I am just so I think it's so cool. I mean, he's literally the last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, and he's the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl this year. I think that's pretty awesome.
All right, thank you very much, Danny. Great insight from you as always. Moving to my prediction now, I think that the 49ers will win by a score of 35 to 21.
35. So you think a little bit more distance
Yes,
from
against
okay.
the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that the 49ers are going to pull it out against the Kansas City Chiefs in this year's Super Bowl. Now, since we have exhausted all of our Super Bowl predictions and things of that such, we're going to talk about the Steelers' new offensive coordinator they hired a couple of weeks ago. At this point, Arthur Smith as the new uh, head of the offense. Danny, your thoughts on that hire?
Yeah, Zach. I got to be honest with myself and with you here, Zach. I was not happy whatsoever when the Steelers first brought in Arthur Smith. The fact being that he went 7-10 as a head coach in Atlanta all 3 years and had the 8th overall pick all 3 years and still went 7-10, 7-10, 7-10. So I was not the biggest fan of Arthur Smith. But after some much needed self reflection, self evaluation.
Oh, you needed all of that after the first take.
Oh no! I mean, I'm still in the process of doing it. But what I realized is that um, some coaches are meant to be coordinators as opposed to head coaches in the NFL because that may not seem like a big jump, but I can assure you that it certainly is a huge jump from coordinator to head coach of an NFL franchise. So, I mean, I think I am more cautiously optimistic than I was because I realized, Artie Smith went there, went to Tennessee. I don't know when he went there, he resurrected Ryan Tannehill's career, and even though he has not had success in the recent future with the Atlanta Falcons, he also has had a number of really good runs as the offensive coordinator. So what I have resolved based on all of that is I'm going to be cautiously optimistic and give Arthur Smith a chance. Now, that doesn't mean that I will not criticize him. I will. And I do not love the fact that he's going more under center. He's a big run game guy. That's his area of expertise. But I think that Mike Tomlin really brings in a guy that he believes in, and I was hearing him talk. He does seem like he is invested and thinks in the way of the Steeler culture, i.e., the standard is the standard. So,
i.e., the
I'm,
Steeler way.
yeah, exactly. I'm cautiously optimistic, man. What say you, buddy?
Same with you. I really have not done much reading up on Smith, but looking at the fact that he went 7-10 past 3 years, I still not too happy with that.
Yeah,
Excuse me. Not too happy with that hire. But
I
also,
go ahead. Sorry.
good.
No, I was just gonna say that I um would have liked a more innovative guy like Zach Robinson. Seemed like the passing game coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams from the
Uh-huh.
McVay tree. Like he seemed like the new guy on the block that just could be the greatest offensive mind. But maybe Arthur Smith just needs, it's a lot of times it's about fit, So I don't know. I'll give this guy.
Let's see here. The Steelers also made three new hires to their coaching staff. Tom Arth is the quarterbacks coach. Um, Zach Esnani as the wide receiver coach, and Mateo. I'm gonna say Campbell, even though that's probably not right, as the offensive assistant, or also known as pass game coordinator. Danny, your thoughts on all three of those hires?
Yeah, I'm glad that we are being active now. Because as much as the Super Bowl hasn't even been played yet, but the off season is certainly in full swing here. We got the Senior Bowl that just took place in Mobile, Alabama last week. And so before we know it, it's going to be combine season and mock draft season. I love that Steelers fans are already drawing up some mock
Which
drafts.
we will be doing later on
That's
as we
I
move
think
into the
it's super
summer here.
fun. Yeah, I'm excited for that, man. But yeah, Zach, I'm glad that we're um, being active in this kind of off-season period, and I think that the biggest thing is, and I think this is what we kind of struggled with this, especially in the back half of the season. Like we got to move as a unit. Our coaching staff, our players need to be on the same page. And I think that it was a little tough with Mike Sullivan and Eddie Faulkner, kind of splitting up the duties. I think that was a little bit of a too many cooks in the kitchen at one time type of thing. So I'm hopeful that, yeah, exactly. Everything can be turned into a Taiwanism if you want it to be. But yeah, Zach, I'm excited for the fact that hopefully we can move with some fluidity in terms of the coaching staff as well as the on-field product.
Okay. In that case, voice crack. That's going to be it for us. To recap, I predict the Steelers will win by Steelers, 49ers. I wish it was Steelers. Will win the Super
Yeah.
Bowl by a score of, what did I say, 35 to 21? Yeah. And Danny, what did you say? I forget what you said.
I said 35-28, 49ers.
Thank you,
Shootout for both of us.
Yeah, I think it will be a shootout. That game will be a fun to watch. Thank you, Ken, out there in the chat for saying everyone deserves a mulligan. Thank you. Ken, did we able to see that debacle? That was
The first take was not our best.
that was deplorable. I already took it off the channel, but if you saw it, if you know, you know. That's one of those types. Thanks to Ken and the other viewer out there for watching as always. Sticking with us the entire way here. And we would like to thank you for tuning into this Super Bowl preview / the 32nd edition of the Local Lowdown podcast. We will see you, hopefully with more regularity, next time right here on the Local Lowdown